Welcome to this practice where we're going to be focusing on the idea of floating between poses and even having that sense of lightness and upward lifting in any pose that we're in. So we would need to balance that with being grounded, and we're balancing strength with flexibility. So we need the strength to support this idea of floating and expansion. So let's start just by closing your eyes for a few breaths. To center your mind on your breath. Let go of anything else you've been thinking about. You can let your body move a little bit with the movement that's happening inside of you. And place your hands down, come up onto your ridge tops, so right on the base of the fingers, and press down through your hands so you take a little weight off your pelvis. Maybe you feel a little bit of extra length in your low back. And lower down, feel the weight settle in, that a little bit of compression. And then press down again. So not trying to lift the hips all the way off the floor. It's like you're lifting your shoulders up, in a way, your upper body up, but trying to lengthen still through your low back. And lower down. It's very subtle, but just notice how this feels for you. Press down again. It's almost like you're kind of hanging. Good. Lower your hips down, stretch your left leg out, and press your hips forward as you reach out through your left toes and your left fingertips, finding a big expansion and reach. And lower back down again. This time cross with your right foot in front. We'll do that same little lift. So placing your hands down, press down. So you're still letting your hips relax toward the floor, but this creates a little bit of feeling of not really being weightless, but kind of that idea. Good, and lower down. And press down again through your hands, float the hips up. And settle back down. This time stretch the right leg out, bring the left arm forward, and reach your hips forward and up. And a nice big long stretch. And lower back down again. This time cross your right ankle above the left knee so we can work on our feet. So just thread your fingers in between your toes. Take the thumb of your right hand, the opposite hand, and start to massage all along the foot. Really being aware of the tripod of the foot, which is kind of defined by three arches. We have the medial arch on the inside, the lateral arch on the outside, and the transverse arch that goes from the big toe to the little toe mound. So we have 26 bones in our feet, 33 joints, so we should have a lot of mobility in our feet. And just move your foot in any direction that you could imagine it could go. So flexion, extension, a little traction. Notice how the sole of your foot feels. Then spread your fingers to spread the toes, straighten your leg, keeping the toes nice and spread. You can point and then come back and flex and spread and point and flex and point and flex. And then we'll do the same thing with the other foot. So cross the left ankle above the right knee, thread the fingers of your right hand in between your toes, and just move around here. And release your hand, straighten your leg, spread out the toes, and then flex, point, and flex, back and forth. Now swing around so you're in Dandasana, facing the front of your mat. Bow over your legs and bring your hands in between your knees and your hips, somewhere in that area. Lean forward and then press into the floor so your hips float up. So we were kind of doing this in the beginning, but we're floating our hips all the way off the floor now using both hands. And lower down. A circle around your hips, both directions. And let's do a little bit of work on our hands before we do the second round. So just begin to like curl your fingers in and out. And you can curl your wrists in, open out. It doesn't really matter exactly how you do this. Just think of getting movement into your wrists in a fun, creative way. And interlace your fingers. Press your back away from your hands and press your hands away from your back as you curl in. And keep pressing away as you reach up. Release your fingers, float your arms down with your wrists flexed. And bring your hands back where we started. Bow of your leg. Again, press down, lift up. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. You can bring your hands forward a little bit. If you need to bring them back, you can. But we want to lean over our leg and just lift the left leg up and the right leg up. Just lifting and lowering. Feeling the hip flexors work, the quads work. Nice. And then let's come onto our hands and knees in tabletop. Walk your knees back and stretch your hips back into child's pose. Draw your elbows so your elbows are just in front of your knees, and interlace your fingers on the back of your head. Tuck your chin and push your head up into your hands. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit more and just go with the feeling of this stretch spreading out through your whole back. Almost like a spider web, stretching out in all directions. Release your hands, let your head float up. Stretch your right arm forward. If you can, line up your right foot with your right knee. Or if you want to, you could bring your foot out to the side for a little more stability. And press your toes into the floor. Reach your arm up and over. And lift your arm and leg up. Reach over again. This time pull your elbow to your knee, lifting your knee high. And as you straighten your leg, straighten your arm. Reach your arm all the way up, and as it comes back, bring your knee forward and tap. Inhale, reach back, circle around, come forward and tap. One more time, reach back, circle around, come forward and tap. And come back into your tabletop and back into child's pose. Again, interlace your fingers around the back of your head with your elbows close to your knees so you can really curl your chin towards your chest. Push up into your hands. Just the right amount. On your next inhale, release your hands, let your head naturally float up. Stretch line up your left foot with your left knee or bring it out to the side. Stretch out through your right toes and reach your right arm up and over, lifting your rib cage up. And reach your arm and leg up. Lower down again and reach. Maybe flex the left toes to give you more stability and lift up. And bring your elbow to your knee. Stretch your arm back as you reach forward. And come back, bend elbow to knee. Stretch back and circle. Bring the knee to the elbow and circle around one more time. And come back into tabletop. And starting with your tailbone, start to arc your low back. And start to create a curve in your back by pressing your chest forward, bringing your chin up, and externally rotating your shoulders. And from the tailbone, start to curl under and around your spine. And just go back and forth a few more times. Next time you're back in a neutral spine, step your right foot forward and press your knee forward past your toes. Press your left foot into the floor and maybe lift the knee up a little bit. See if you can spin the inner thigh of your left leg up. And find a little bit of that hanging with your leg. And you can play with hugging in, activating your muscles, relaxing a little bit. And lower your knee back down, shift your hips back, coming into a runner's lunge or hamstring stretch. And you can shift your right foot as far forward as you want, going more towards splits. It's up to you. And pull your foot in again. Bring your left hand out to the side. Maybe slide your left knee back a little bit. And squeeze, pulling your heel towards your hip. And you can reach back with your hand and press your foot into your hand. Curl your hand around your toes, pointing the toes. And just move around here. And release your hand. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and open your knee out to the side so you're rolling to the outer edge of your right foot. And just move it back and forth. And step back into your tabletop. Again, begin to move your spine. And step your left foot forward. Press your knee forward, push down through your back toes. And just move around, shift from side to side. Maybe take your back knee off the floor if you like. And shift your hips back, coming into runner's lunge, stretching out the hamstrings. Again, you can always slide your left foot forward a little bit if you want to go more towards splits, if that's in your practice. And slide your foot back, bring your hand to the inside of your foot, and open your knee out to the side, rolling to the outer edge of your foot. Come back to center. Step your foot back a little bit. And bend your right knee, squeezing your right heel towards your glute. You can squeeze and release. And if you want, you could add bringing your hand back. Maybe bring your hand on top of your toes to curl your toes and gently draw your heel towards your hip. And just come in out of the stretch, listening to your body. And release your foot. Step back into tabletop. Walk your hands forward a little bit, tuck your toes, and press up and back into down dog. Walk your feet forward, your hands coming into your forward fold. Lift and spread all your toes, keeping them as spread apart as possible, lower down. Press into your feet, inhale, rise all the way up. Interlace your fingers and reach your palms up, reach your tailbone down. Draw your low ribs back. Then shift your ribs to the left, reaching to the right. Inhale back to center. Stretch your ribs to the right, reaching to the left. Inhale back to center, release your arms. Inhale, reach your arms up. Bend your left elbow and take your right hand to your left elbow. You can bring your elbow in toward the center line of your body a little bit. Press your head back into your elbow. Just stay here noticing how this feels. You might not be able to get your elbow all the way across. And then take your right hand, reach it out to the side, and just begin to internally and externally rotate the shoulder. Next time it's internally rotated, bring your elbow into your back. Bend your elbow and reach your hands up towards each other. Press your back into your arms. And you might not touch. It could be that you just want to have your hand on the back of your head and your back of your hand on the low back. Or you could bring them in a little bit. And release your arms, float your arms up. And bend your right elbow, bring your right hand down your back. You can use the left hand to kind of situate your elbow. And reach your left arm out to the side. Begin to internally and externally rotate your shoulder. And bring your elbow in, reach your hand up your back. Your arms could be apart. You could be trying to reach your fingers. Press your back into your hands. Release your hands. And then rock to the outer edges of your feet. Shift in to your right foot and then shift into your left foot. Just go back and forth a couple times. So that's the direction we kind of normally lose our balance in. So now bring your feet a little further apart and roll to the inner edge of your feet. So you're everting your ankles and shift your weight to the inside edge of your foot. Try and push into your big toe mound as you do this. Getting a sense of like stability in your feet. Now come back to center, heel toe your feet together, bend your knees and circle your knees around. So come toward the top of your feet, over to the edges of your feet, back to the heel, and over to the opposite side. Just feeling the movement, the pressure on your feet. Reverse the direction. And then come back up to stand and alternate between, you can heel toe your feet apart a little bit, so they're about hip distance apart. Find your Tadasana, mountain pose. So root down through the tripod of your feet. Stack your knees over your ankles, your hips over your knees, your rib cage over your hips, shoulders over the rib cage, and head in line with the shoulders. And then shift your weight forward, lifting the heels up and lower down maybe. See if you can float the front of your foot up a little bit. And just play with rocking back and forth. Building awareness in your feet. And how it feels when your weight is shifted into different places in your feet. And then root down through the tripod of your feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank. Hug the midline and push the floor away as you lower down. Point your toes, rise up into your cobra. And begin to shift your weight from side to side. Lower back down again, tuck your toes. Press up and back into your down dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up. And then lift up even higher on your toes. See if you can spiral the top inner thigh inward. So your toes go from turning out a little bit to pointing down. And hug your knee into your chest and step your foot forward. Rotate the back foot open, coming into warrior two. Extend out through your arms, really reaching and finding that sense of levity. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, float them down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reach up. Then reach your back arm forward, reach your front arm back. And switch. And switch one more time. Then straighten your front leg, parallel your feet. Begin to side lunge. You can bring your hands to the floor and just see how low you can comfortably go. Next time your right knee is bent, bring your hands to your right foot and then straighten your right leg. Reach your hips away from your hands. And walk your hands around to the left. Bend your right knee, shifting your hips away from your hands. Come back to center. Bend into your left knee and see if you can lower your hips to the floor. You can use your hands. And pick your right foot up, bring it halfway forward. Bow over your leg and see if you can get your shoulder even with your knee. So you might want to just stay here. You might be able to spread your hands apart, and you might be able to reach back and find a bind. So try, experiment, but don't force anything. And release your hands. We're just going to pivot to the left. Heel toe your left foot a little bit over to the left. Step your right foot in. And just shift your weight forward and back. It'll rotate the back foot down. Come on, up warrior two. Reverse your warrior. And reach the back arm forward and switch from side to side. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet again, and just glide from one side to the other side. Then spin your right foot forward, step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Reach your toes high to the sky. Inner spiraling your left leg. And pull your knee into your chest, around your spine, step your foot forward. Rotate the back foot open, coming into warrior two. Reach your arms in opposite directions, reaching back with your body and then reaching forward with your body. Try and keep your legs nice and still. So there's a feeling of floating front to back. And come back into warrior two. Parallel your feet. And again, shift your weight from side to side. And this time we'll lower into our right hip. So as you come to the right, you can use your hands to help you lower down. Pick your left foot up, bring it halfway forward, and reach forward in between your legs. Try and line your knee up with your shoulder, and you can reach your arms out to the side. You could reach back, find a bind maybe, or just bring your hands behind your back, reaching towards each other, but maybe not touching. And release your bind and spin around to your right, stepping the left leg back and heel toeing the right leg over to the right. Rotate the back heel down. Come on up, warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet, and again glide from side to side. And spin your left foot forward. Step back into downward facing dog. We'll add on to that. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, hug your knee to your nose. Step your foot forward, warrior two. Rise up. And just begin to reach back and forth. So your arms are floating, but your legs are strong. And next time you reach back, straighten the front leg, parallel your feet, coming into a wide-legged forward fold and shift from side to side. Then shift over to your left foot. Start to lower your hips down slowly. Pick your right leg up, swing it halfway forward. Reach forward between your legs. First, reach your arms out to the side. And then maybe find your bind, if that's possible for you today. Or you could just reach your hands behind your back. Release your hands, spin your body to the left. And heel toe your left foot over to the left, step your right foot in. We're going to step into half moon this time. So stepping into your left foot, float the right leg up. Firm your legs and find a lift in your hip joint. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips. And maybe gaze up toward the sky. Keep your legs strong to keep that sensation of floating. Look down, and we're going to float back into warrior two. Again, extend out through your arms. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And come back through warrior two. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet. Coming into a forward fold. Bend into your right knee, walk your hands to the right. And switch the bend of your knee. So bend into your left knee with your hands reaching to the right. As you come back to center, switch sides. So your hands are to the left, bending the right knee in. Walk your hands all the way back, spin your right foot forward. Come back into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And cartwheel your arms. Step back, down dog. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Reach your toes up nice and high. And round your spine, hug your knee to your nose. Step your foot forward. Rotate the back foot open. Warrior two, rise up. Firm your inner thighs, reaching them towards each other. And as you reach back, with your left arm, reach forward with your right. And float back and forth. Next time you reach back, straighten the front leg, parallel your feet, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Begin to shift your weight from side to side. Then we'll shift into the right knee, lower your hips down. Let the left toes turn up. Pick your left leg up, bring it halfway forward. Bow in between your legs, hugging your shoulder into your knee. Reach your arms out to the side and think of elongating your spine as much as you can. And then reach your arms behind you, seeing if they can hold on to each other or just be closer to each other. We'll stay here another breath or two. You can shift back more into your right hip. You could lean forward. You could try different things. Release your hands. Spin towards the back of your mat. Heel toe your right foot back to the right. Step your left foot in. And just move around here first. We're going to step up into half moon, balancing on the right leg. So press your left foot off the floor. Stack your hips, stack your shoulders. Firm up your both legs, especially the top leg. And then make sure you have weight in the heel of your hand. Look down, bend your knee, and reach back with your toes and see how softly you can land in warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet. Come into your wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands to the left and bend your right knee, reaching your hips away from your hands. Come back to center, walk your hands to the right, bend your left knee, reaching away. Come back to center, spin your left foot forward, come back into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior, and cartwheel your arms, step back, down dog. So there's a lot of bears around here. I'm looking at this big black bear at the edge of the yard. Walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold. Bend your knees, sink your hips down, reach your arms up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Heel toe your feet together. Press your palms together and twist over to your right, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Open up here. Come back up through center. Twist to the left, bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. So the first side was left elbow to the outside of the right knee. I might have said it wrong. And come on back up again. Straighten your legs, find your Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. step back to plank. Slowly lower down. Rise up, cobra, open up. Lower down, tuck your toes. Press back to down dog. So we'll go through a similar sequence, but it'll be a little bit different. Something's taken away, something's added on. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, step forward. Warrior two, open up. Reach back to reverse your warrior. And straighten the front leg. Shift right away back into the left leg, lowering down, all the way down. Pick your right leg up, bring it forward. Bow in between your legs. And extend your arms out to the side. Stay here or wrap your arms around behind you. Maybe sink your weight back into your hips a little bit more if you're able to. Release your hands, spin around facing the back of your mat. Heel toe your foot, left foot to the left, bring your right foot in. And right away, come on up into half moon. Make sure your left knee doesn't turn inward. Really activate the right leg. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Maybe gaze up toward your hand. Look down, bend your knee and reach back with your toes, landing as lightly as you can, coming back into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And now we're going to spin on our feet, coming forward into crescent lunge, but continue to bring the left elbow across, coming into prayer twist. Release your hands, step forward into half moon. Open up. And lower your top hand down, square your hips for standing splits. Maybe walk your hands back towards your leg. Step back into your down dog. We'll play with the same thing on the left side. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring your foot all the way forward. Coming into warrior two, rise up. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And straighten your front leg here. Shift back into your right foot, lowering down to the floor. Pick your left leg up, bring it halfway forward, and bow forward in between your legs, reaching your arms out to the side, pushing your shoulder into your knee, bowing forward. And then you can bring your hands behind your back, maybe to touch and find a bind. Maybe shift your weight back into your hips. And release your hands, twist back to the right. Lift your knee up, heel toe your right foot over to the right. Step your left foot back onto your mat. And we're going to hop up into half moon. So keep your legs strong and firm so you can float up. Float your arm up, open up across the shoulders. Maybe lift the leg a little bit higher. Make sure you have some weight in the heel of your foot. Look down, reach back through your toes, and see how lightly you can step back into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. Then pivot on your feet, coming into crescent lunge, but bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, coming into a prayer twist. Find that inner expansion, that inner lightness. Release your hands, bring your left hand forward. Make sure your left toes are pointing forward. Stack your hips, stack your shoulders. Firm your legs so that you can have that feeling of floating. Nice, lower the right hand down, square your hips, standing splits. Maybe walk back towards your standing leg. Step back in the down dog. Walk your feet halfway forward and come on into a squat. Press your elbows out into your knees as you hug your knees in. Can't take my eyes off the bear. Just want to make sure I know where he is. He seems to be enjoying eating something in the grass. Lower your hips down, squeeze your knees in, extend your legs up for Navasana boat pose. Really reach out through your toes, lift up through your chest, maybe reach your arms up. Hold here for a couple of breaths. And bend your knees. Start to lower your shoulders away from your feet. And when your shoulders touch down, which feels so good, hug your knees into your chest and circle your knees around both directions. Release your knees, bring your arms out to the side and bring your feet nice and wide. Begin to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Come on back to center. Bring your knees by your rib cage and reach your arms up. If you can reach your feet easily without your hips coming off the floor or your shoulders, you can hold your feet. Otherwise, you could hold the back of your legs or your calves or your ankles. Let your knees lower toward the floor and press your feet up into your hands. Pull down with your hands. And hold this contraction here. We're contracting the muscles for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just relax. Notice the difference. You can begin to rock from side to side. And come back into your happy baby. Same thing, push up into your hands, pull down with your hands, finding that resistance, that muscular activation. And release your feet, float your legs up, float your arms up, dead bug pose. So the back of your shoulders, you want them on the floor. And you can move your ankles, your wrists around in any way that you like. Maybe wiggle your fingers, move your toes around. And bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. Shift your hips to the right and twist your legs to the left. Twist your upper body to the right. You can always place a little padding in between your knees if you like, but try and bring your feet and your knees to the ground. Relax here. If you want to straighten your legs, you can do that. And find little things that you can explore here. And come back onto your back. And shift your hips to the left. Bring your knees together and twist your knees to the right. Twisting your upper body to the left. And bring your knees back up to center. Center your hips and your shoulders on your mat. Squeeze your legs in, giving yourself a little hug. And circle your ankles. And stretch out for a little short savasana. Letting everything rest and relax. Surrendering your body to gravity and the earth. Let your feet flap open. And if you feel your ribs sticking up, just gently soften them in a little bit. Maybe you can hear the owl in the background. You're welcome to stay here longer, or you can begin to bring some slow movements into your body. Maybe turning your head from side to side, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes. And bend your knees, slowly roll onto your side, and then roll up to a comfortable seat. Thank you for joining me in this practice, getting the idea of floating and listening to the birds, flowing with your breath. I hope you enjoyed this practice. I would love to hear from you. If you would leave a comment below, share this with your friends, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Please like the video. Again, thank you for your time and your attention and your energy and your focus. See you again soon. Bye.